Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4 Man the Guns, trying to find out whether torpedoes are any good in the new Man the Guns expansion. So, we've been playing as Japan, we've been conquering China, we are now in war against the Indian, or the British Raj I should say, and on the other hand we are trying to conquer the Philippines. Just last time we had a couple of battles in the Bay of Bengal where we attacked the British pretty strongly and some Americans as well. So we should be able to see our lost ships over here, so the battles of Bengal, where we lost quite a couple of light hulls, submarines, but on the other hand we did sink quite a couple of destroyers and even a number of heavy cruisers. So I'm very happy about that result. On the other hand, we also got quite a bit of a beating and a lot of our ships are being repaired. Some of them fairly quickly, within 1 or 2 days, but some of them also will be out of commission for a little bit longer, so between 1 and 3 months even here for our battle cruisers. So that is a little bit unfortunate, and on the other hand we should see that on the cruisers here, on the first cruiser group, we lost quite a couple of destroyers, which does mean that our heavy ships are now without cover, so that is somewhat unfortunate. We have therefore split off a couple of our torpedo destroyers and have sent them over here to reinforce the cruiser group so that they do at least have some heavy support. And you know what, I think I would like you to repair, and repair now. That should be fine then though. Right, other than that, we did manage to beat back a British battleship, and you know what, I think it is probably somewhere here in Sri Lanka, probably in Trincomalee, because I suspect the AI will move ships quite closely. Yes, please do leave, and we are gonna split off this gentleman. Is there anyone else requiring repairs? No, there's not, so yeah, we're just gonna simply split off the one ship that does require repairs, and we're gonna send our battle cruisers, our first heavy scout force up over here, which does include 2 carriers with about 120 planes. 60 of those are naval bombers, and I want to see whether we can conduct a naval strike on this area up here, on this area of Ceylon. There is another interesting factor that I observed in between episodes, and that is there's no production of rubber in Ceylon anymore, and that is because the delivery is blocked. So that does lead me to believe that the British have closed off this entire region for their transport, and that probably is because of all of our submarines operating in the area, so we are going to have to see about that. We also need to be mindful of this situation down here, which I think is going to be alright, and we are sending some Marines over to Truk. That's fine, because there we'll probably want them to start at least preparing an invasion on Guam, and you know what, we can't immediately define that, I think, so yeah. Let's go ahead and define this mission, and I think that's going to be alright. Good. And you know what? We can actually assign this division to that as well. So yeah, 2 divisions entering on the Sea of Guam. That should be alright. I think we can actually start the game over here. Let's start it slowly. Probably the Philippines are going to fall very shortly, and we have indeed uncovered another naval group over here, which might include even some capital ships, up to 2 capital ships. And right now our heavy cruisers aren't exactly in a good position to deal with that, so I'm not too confident of that, honestly. Yeah, these are the light cruisers that we are sending over there, but they are going to take a while to get there actually, so is that truly a fight that we do want to take? I wonder. How much do we know about these guys? We have insufficient resource, yeah, that's just a little bit of steel. 2 capital ships, a couple of light ships, we might be suffering some heavy cruiser damage over here, or some heavy torpedo damage. Oh, but on the other hand, it's now been confirmed that we vastly overestimated them. It's just 2 light cruisers, or up to light cruisers, 2 light cruisers I should say. And now we should be able to spot it? No, I don't see it. Not yet. So, with the... we should actually do one thing first. So, with the loss of our destroyers, I do think we need to make a strategic shift. So I would ideally like to pull off my destroyers from our heavy forces over here. So pull these guys off, they're not survivable enough, and then probably turn them into anti-submarine warfare. missions because our anti-submarine warfare is lacking considerably, even though we in fact did provide a couple of 48 destroyers. So I think it would make sense to convert more destroyers to anti-submarine warfare platforms, but that does mean we need something to replace them in escorting our fleets, and that probably would at this point be other light cruisers or an upgrade of our light cruisers. The issue I have is that we do have the advanced centrometric radar coming in about 120 days. So you know what, 120 days, that's August, September, October, it's probably end of November. So that to me means by end of November we should have these ships here finished. But let's try to pull off a couple of our ships and at least get one more production line of these guys going in parallel so that it all matches up a little bit more nicely. And I think we can actually do two, yeah, so until end of November we can probably even go ahead and produce it like that, and that does mean we can produce two more light cruisers, two entire new torpedo cruisers, which of course what we want. And we are going to ask you to join the first torpedo fleet once you're ready. And in fact I would want you to be highest priority, so that too is late November, and that is indeed very lovely. Why are you first of... oh no, it's 1945 here. We don't want to do 1945. So yeah, that works out nicely now, and that means we can shift a couple of guys over here. We are losing a little bit of steel. It's not really the end of the world, so everything should be fine. We could develop some chromium deposits, but honestly I don't think we are interested in chromium, so we're gonna let that be. And we're gonna hope that we should be able to send out our heavy ships. What are you doing? What's going on? Okay, so there must be some fleet composition error. Okay, so something weird happened here. Can I ask you to rejoin each other, please? Yeah. Okay, must be with the new patch, so nevertheless, I think that's alright. So we do have our fleet now. Can you please make it over here? Okay, sorry. Right shift, control right click. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so you are now coming up over there, and that should be alright, and then we're gonna conduct our naval strike. Philippines have surrendered, that's nice to see. We are getting some support equipment, which is extremely good for us. Some infantry equipment, not that much to write home about, but the support equipment is actually extremely useful for us because we were a little bit shy on that. And there's some more items available for us, including developing some iron ore, and I'm going to definitely take that decision because that will be extremely helpful for us. Good. We are also... are we fighting? Yeah, so our submarines are fighting there, so that is nice to see. We're also fighting a couple of other guys. Alright, very good. You gentlemen can definitely come back over here. And then apparently these guys down here at Cebu have not surrendered yet, so let's try to capture that area. And let's get all of you guys to Manila, and all of you will be coming in towards this area up here. Right, that's fine. Naval combat over here and there, yeah, that's just our torpedoes, our submarines doing their job. So that is fine. Also in India we are doing some offensive maneuvers. And I do want to move up to that harbor because I think we'd like to extend our reach a little bit and attack potentially into other areas as well. In particular, it would be nice to cut off the American supply or British supplies. Good. Let's get our... wait, are you close? Air support? Ooh, well that was a mistake. I had actually hoped that we would have carrier naval bombers. Oh, that's awkward. Wait, no, that's way too much. Carrier naval bombers, so yeah. That's really awkward. Okay, let's pick this gentleman here, the naval tech. Naval targeting, agility, ground attack. Yeah, you should be alright. And with this naval bombers we are also going to pick someone who's currently assigned, yeah, you. So that's fine. And we will disband simply this air wing. Okay, so that does leave these two gentlemen, who we are going to ask to attack during the day only. Are you deploying? How long will you need to be? Just 27th? Well, just 2 more days. Okay, so that's a little bit unfortunately. We are a little bit sitting ducks over there, so I don't really like that situation. But it's what we'll have to deal with at this moment. Good. So, we are also a little bit, at least I am afraid, of the Soviet Union declaring on us, because they are currently justifying against us, so that will need to be taken into account. And can I actually ask these fighters at the very least to conduct air raids, air superiority, and do follow the carrier? Yeah, so you're doing that. That's lovely. Good. And you guys, come on. How long until you're deployed? 27th, end of day basically. Some naval combat over here, not the most important, honestly. Right. And apparently some weird air numbers happening over the area of Bay of Bengal. You are still deploying, but you should be done in about 3 hours. So we can already assign... Oh, you're... Can I specifically assign you to attack that naval base? I don't think so. Let's assign a port attack anyway. And then we're gonna have to see how well that works. More naval capacity. Yeah, just Philippine transports sunk, so that's alright. Okay. So we do have a couple of navies over there, or marines I should say. Let's plan a naval invasion from here right onto Cebu with 3 divisions. I think that's alright. And then what we can do is plan another 3 from here to here. And that's alright. Good. And these gentlemen up here, we are gonna ask all of them to transfer to Singapore. And that should be alright, because that will allow us to advance into the Indian Ocean. So, are we conducting airstrikes here? How are things looking? Unread port strike results. So, yes. So at least we know that HMS Malaya, Her Majesty's ship Malaya, is in harbour here. We only did 2.6 damage. That's not good enough. But you know what? Actually what we might want to do is take our fighters and also place them over the Bay of Bengal. Also I wonder, we should have some naval or close air support. Yeah, they are currently over here. Let's bring them over towards somewhere over here. Let's call it that area. And then towards the Yellow Sea and conduct airstrikes there, because I think we might see some further submarine activity over there. And it would be extremely nice if we could rid ourselves of these guys. Close to getting this new harbour, so that's lovely to see. Does that mean we can break out further? Yes, it does mean that. So that is lovely, and that does mean to me that we are going to ask our group to not go into the Bay of Bengal anymore, but actually try to intercept convoys in the West Indies and in particular in the Arabian Sea. And I think that's going to be alright. And in fact, I think we are going to push another submarine fleet over here, which we are actually going to ask here to use the fleet's colors. That's fine. More port strike results, also very good. Another 3.5% loss, so they should be... It's a battle of attrition a little bit, but I think we should be fine over there. We might actually do very well. Let's also check on the first cruiser group. Yes, so now all of these torpedo cruisers have joined up, and that is extremely lovely to see. Very good. We've also got unassigned divisions. We are going to ask them to go to the defense of Borneo. I think you gentlemen need a lot more, yeah, 19 divisions in total. So, yeah, that's still going to have to wait a little. We have lost first ship over here, but we are further reducing or causing damage to HMS Malaya, and that is nice. What's not so nice is, oh, these German convoys. What are German convoys doing in the Pacific? freight convoys. Okay, so they must be importing stuff from us. We are trying to capture... It's 15 submarines. We are trying to intervene here, but it's going to take 60 days till we have arrived. That's just not going to be enough for us to deal with that. More port strikes, 8%. So we are doing more and more damage over here, so that is extremely good for us. And we have indeed engaged some troop convoys, I think. Canadians. Oh, we are trying to detect them, is the better way to phrase that. More port strikes, 8%. Nice. We are getting somewhere. And we do have 3 dockyards, so let's actually make sure to invest them in some shipbuilding. And that should be alright. Yeah, it's probably because we are finishing up some of our repairs. Yeah, it does look a lot like that. You guys are all alright. You don't need any repairs or anything like that, do you? No. You are actually currently fighting, so that's good to see. But I definitely want to say sink HMS Malaya. Just a couple of convoys there. Unread port strike results. We lost another plane, but we are continuing to do a lot of damage here. That is extremely good. Oh, 2 naval combats. We should keep checking on these. We actually sunk American submarine, so that is very good. These guys are trying to get away. And probably a lot of them will be escaping. But on the other hand here, we are also engaging them. They are withdrawing though, unknown position. You're trying to find them, but we can't quite find them. Which is again another reason why we really need... not a very successful strike this time. Why we really need more capabilities. Especially in regards to our radar installations. Unread naval results. Yeah, they lost this early submarine. Good, but ultimately probably not going to be decisive. Right, more port strikes. Why are you doing so little damage now? I would really like 3 naval combats, so let's keep on checking those. More submarines, but more American submarines sunk. A couple of submarines disengaging. One of them is damaged, so that's good. Yeah, but still, let's briefly check on our construction tree and see whether we might be building up some radar stations over here. Just to maybe cover this region a little bit more closely. We might build up something in South Korea. Wouldn't necessarily be the worst idea. I don't want to impede the progress on our airfields, especially if the Soviet Union does declare war. But we're going to have to see about that. More port strikes. Is there a limit to how much damage we can do while they are on port? I don't know. We have to see about that. Right, so we have a lot of aircraft over here by now, and some of them might actually be better suited in southern India. To give us a little bit of air superiority there. More naval results. Yeah, that's just an early submarine. Some convoys. Not too critical. Resistance to occupation. More port strikes. Come on, do some damage. Let's move our carriers. Maybe it's a thing of their... where they're striking from. I don't know. I mean, the weather doesn't look too bad, so... Again, it's 0%. Why so bad? And you know what? I don't want to do too many manual attacks over here, but that is just too tempting. You really support these types of attacks. Otherwise you'll be going nowhere. Okay, let's keep on watching the naval war though. Destroyer sunk, lovely. Naval results, American submarines sinking. I very much appreciate that. And again, very little damage. Okay, let's call our guys off from these attacks. Let's stop that for a second here. And then re-engage in a little while. Lack of range to completely cover the area. You're probably better off if we go up there, I think. Still, let's try to re-engage. Maybe that's gonna be better. More naval results, yeah. And that's 2 submarines. That's getting very good. I mean, the Americans do have an amazing number of submarines, so it's probably not gonna be enough, but still. Let's see. 0%! Why? We're doing so well. I do want to continue to try and do this for a little while. The organization is kind of low. That might be it. Still a couple of ships repairing, so... Yeah, but apparently we are not able to do more damage than that. Let's briefly check also on our leaders and whether they are any closer to getting the Seawolf ability. 200 and 100. So slow. I would really appreciate if that could go on a little bit faster. Yeah. But we are pushing into India. We are making some progress. Very soon we'll be able to define a new front line once that has finished. Of course, technically we would be able to do so now, but why? Why would we? Okay, let's get you guys back to Singapore. I realize a couple of our navies have arrived over here, so Marines. So that is good, and we are actually going to ask you to be based over in Rangoon, I would say. And then from Rangoon... Oh, you know what? We are going to ask you to get to Calcutta. Okay, hold, get to Calcutta. And then from Calcutta, I'm going to ask you to do a naval invasion towards Trincomalee. With 2 Marines and maybe 1 traditional division. And that's fine. And then we do have another division, which we are going to ask to go from over here towards this little archipelago. Just try to conquer that. I don't expect it will be defended, so I think we're going to be alright over here. And these 7 remaining divisions, I think we're going to bring up over here. And then they are able to quickly reinforce any of these positions. And that should be alright. Also somewhat tempted to take on some of these positions, but all in all that's not something we can afford to do right now. And you actually sort of attack into here. Just finish up conquering this area. And that should be alright. Good. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. How about the Marines up here? We're apparently still striking some vessels up there, so that's pretty good. Let's actually ask this gentleman to start his naval strikes where he can. Although we are in the Mariana region, so over here we don't really have enough patrol vessels. The torpedo boats and the first torpedo task force are operating over here. I think we're actually going to take this group and remove that area, and then that should pull off some forces that we can be using in the Mariana region, and our heavy cruisers will need to do their duty then in the other region. Good. Yeah, did sink some submarines. Lovely. Unassigned divisions, go ahead, be assigned to this area. These are basically all the Dutch East Indies islands that we have conquered at some point. Good, okay. You 3. Okay, no, just you 2. Well, actually let's pick all of these 3. You get to... Come on. Okay, deselect. You get over here. That's simple. Where you are? Oh, you can't be moving in due to lack of supplies or something. Yeah, that makes sense. More submarines sinking. Enemy shipping, so that's good. I would actually ask you to not invade over there. Coast of Japan, there's naval combat, so right at our doorstep. More American submarines. We really need to deal with American submarines. Who did sink that? Yeah, some early destroyers. So our anti-submarine warfare platforms are proving to be quite useful. I just don't know whether they are going to be enough. We seem to be suffering from, more than anything else, a lack of material. Can you attack a little bit more aggressively? Free France has called the United Mexican States as our ally. Really? So you are now fighting in the defensive war against German Reich. And Iceland. Iceland has actually joined us. Interestingly enough. Ooh, and what's this? Italy? Italy has conquered the Scottish Highlands? And we have an area up here? What's going on? How did I get this province? This province is occupied by Japan? And there are also Manchurian and Siam fighters? Based in Germany? What is this even? It's not Wilhelmshaven. What? Okay, I'll need to fix that in between episodes. That's really weird. I really don't know how that happened. Okay, Germany doing some good things in this area up here. How are they dealing with the Soviet Union? Still not closer to Moscow, but making some good progress up here. And Legionary Romania is doing its thing, but not that great. Mexico joining, that doesn't mean that much for us, really. Naval combat, 4 naval combats going on. American submarines against our... burning American submarines, I might add. Against our destroyers, okay, to be expected. What else? Our destroyers, no, American destroyers, submarines against our destroyers. And the Yellow Sea, okay. What else? More of the same. How is that 4 battles? That's probably 4 fleets that are involved. Still, so far so good. If we keep on sinking these guys, I'll be more than happy, I'll tell you. Yeah, our guys are repairing slowly. To be expected though, so that's fine. You have more resistance to our occupation. Mendeley, Bismarck. Some decisions. How is construction going on? Fairly decently actually. We should soon make sure that we are prioritizing these things correctly. So East Bengal, Singapore, Manila. Bihar has probably a little bit of a higher priority. What's this date? Orissa. Let's make sure to get at least the things in a priority position where we are currently fighting. We also spotted an enemy fleet. It's just submarines. Oh well. That's not particularly important. Still good to see. Heavy cruisers starting to be reinforced, so that's extremely helpful for us. And our carriers are now here again, so what I'd actually like to do is try another launch on these guys. 1 ongoing combat, really. American submarines in the Bay of Bengal. Oh, God damn it. Really? Are you searching for them? Are you searching for them actively? I know you're patrolling, but that shouldn't mean that you're not joining an ongoing battle, especially in the defense of submarines. Against submarines. Ha! At the very least we did manage to capture these guys in a little pocket, so that's lovely to see. I mean, it's just 2 divisions, but you know what? Consul and land and lease, okay, yeah, that's fine, we don't really need you. This up here is annoying because these are troop convoys. And I think they are actually potentially our submarines. So you know what, actually let's get you over here. Try to join up on that attack. Did cost us some organization to do a manual attack here. But all in all, I think that's still worthwhile. Oh, and our CME's friends are starting to help us out, so that will be helpful. Alright, naval results. Here. More American submarines sunk. It's good. Yeah, so far we really haven't seen much of the American battle fleet, even though it's certainly there somewhere. Yeah, also quite a bit. Lots of equipment and men. Good men lost. Let's bring these guys down here and try to conduct another naval strike, port strike. Really? More submarines? You guys are annoying. Right. Naval bomber, naval bomber. Go ahead, do your port strike. And be good. Yeah, we lost another convoy. We are losing convoys down here. Okay, we need to defend ourselves there. It's just not going on well enough. And we are not doing any damage to HMS Malaya, so yeah, in fact that's alright then. We don't really need to do this. Okay, let's take these guys. Let's conduct normal naval strikes. And hopefully kill off some submarines before they do too much against our... Yeah, we are coming in. Why is it red though? Probably because we haven't spotted them, so they can't deal any damage. Still, we are also sinking submarines, so that's good. And we have finished up over here. So that's pretty good. Should leave some gaps that we are now... We could be advancing to, so let's actually define a new front line. Is there any particular benefit to reaching out to any specific region? I don't think so. So, in fact, we might actually have to spread out first. Let's try to follow this river line and then try to attack into Delhi. And that should hopefully help us out at least a little bit. We are losing items over here. Ships. Our heavy cruisers are now engaging some submarines. But we're actually disengaging. Funny enough. Well, I think that battle was good for no one. Okay. I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to try to bring these guys up by a rail towards down here. And then we are going to assign you to Borneo Defense. That should be alright because you need 19 divisions and now you have 11. That works out perfectly fine. Did lose a convoy here. And more submarines over there, so... Yeah, the submarine warfare is really difficult, but again, once we have the advanced centrometric radar, I think we're going to do much better. And we are going to design new anti-submarine warfare platforms that are better at spotting the enemy. And then we can do a little bit more about that. And we can also upgrade a couple of our older units, and that should be pretty good. Let me also briefly check on the second army, whether I can promote you in any meaningful way. Guerrilla fighter, no, that's... I think this is a dull trait. On the other hand, am I gaining anything else? Skirmisher, these are not important. Cavalry leader is definitely not important. Organizer would be extremely good. Is using battle plans. We are doing that, but it could lead to logistics wizard if we are promoting you at some point. But since we are not doing that for now, let's actually pick guerrilla fighter. And that should give you a little bit better defense. That's a little something, so that's good enough. Can we promote Yamamoto? Just to Minesweeper and Malaya. Concealment expert. Lone Wolf. Neither of that I think is very important. Actually, you know what? Lone Wolf might be nice. Fleet Protractor. You're not gaining anything else, are you? Iron Sight? No. You're really not. So actually let's pick Lone Wolf. That might be helpful. Good. Other than that, we are seeing that our fuel reserves are dwindling, and they're dwindling very quickly. They're actually dwindling faster than we'd be getting that result, so we do have to do something about that. We could build up more refineries, and that might be what we have to do. We are strongly repairing some of our infrastructure, which isn't bad. Fuel silos are pointless. So yeah, I think what we actually need are fuel refineries. It pains me because they are not particularly helpful, but it just might be what we have to deal with. We're going to remove all of these towards way to the south, to the bottom of the quay, so that these guys do get built up. Starting to be very slow. Very, very slow. But it's the only thing that we can do, so we are going to do it. Right, last thing I'm going to do for the episode is check whether there are any naval or air things that we should be dealing with. I do not see any. We might actually ask you to stop air superiority missions, and we might actually ask you. No, you're fine. What we could do though is build up another naval bomber group, because I don't think we have a real shortage of that. So let's actually take 200, deploy them to the Mariana region, and try to do naval strikes. Maybe we're going to be lucky and find some submarines. And wouldn't that be lovely? We also actually do not need these fighters to sweep over the Philippines anymore, and we might actually ask these bombers to conduct strikes in southern India instead. Yeah, I think that's helpful. Good. And up over here, everyone is doing their thing, so that's lovely. Make sure to get some of you to do positive things for us. Good. Yeah, so we have advanced further than Japan ever has, specifically in China. But in India, we are starting to feel a little bit pushed back. I mean, the balance of power, the enemy is stronger. Which is discerning, so we might actually have to pull in more resources. On the other hand, the Soviets, so we really need to see about that. At any rate, I thank you guys for watching, and I see you guys next time. Do let me know what you think, specifically of the fleet reorganization, and whether it makes sense to wait for the new radar installations or radar technology. I always have a tendency to just wait for the next best thing and not build on the best current knowledge. But it's only 100 days, and this is an important technology, so what do you think? Let me know, otherwise I see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.